Good afternoon. I am Dr. Shashikant Apte, Head Department of Hematology and Blood and Marrow Transplant Team. Today the theme is clinical trials basically in medicine and hematology. We know that lot of new drugs, new equipments, new technologies evolve and they are applied to human beings. But they are not straightway applied on day one. They go a very intense and robust procedure of clinical trials. These clinical trials are involved with small animal data, then large animal data, phase 1 trials in human beings, phase 2 trials in human beings, phase 3 trials in human beings, and then the authorities approve the drug or technology. It's a long process. It is not as simple as it sounds. In hematology, we deal with lot of genetic by birth conditions. We deal with lot of acquired conditions. These conditions become malignant, that is cancerous, or non-malignant. Also, the risk of infection in hematology patients is very high. Unless we have proper system, proper supportive care, the patients will not benefit, patients will not survive. And to support these all conditions, clinical trials happen. These clinical trials, as when we recruit the patients, we have to have a very long counseling of the patients and tell them. Because when it's a clinical trial, the drug is not approved. The drug is not fulfilled certain criteria. So when we talk of the clinical trial, we never use the word benefit to the patient because we don't know that every clinical trial does not get approved, the drug may not be effective and may be withdrawn. So we tell the patient, this is important, and we also know for the upliftment of the science. Unless the science and the other structures are uplifted, the human race cannot be exposed to aggressive treatment protocols. To increase these aggressive treatment protocols, people have to participate, and there are certain conditions, there are certain strict inclusion and exclusion criteria for the patient to participate in the trial. To carry out a clinical trial, you have to have a proper infrastructure. You have to have a proper teams. You have to have proper data management people. You have to have a proper licensing people. And in Sahyadri Specialty Hospital, we are participating in these trials over last 12 to 13 years. These trials are very well monitored. There are internal monitoring steps, there are external monitoring steps. And many a times, when whether the trial is positive or a negative trial, the authorities come and audit the trial. The best authorities are US FDA or European EMA. In Sahyadri Specialty Hospital, in our own department, that is Hematology Department Clinical Trials, we have had so far 2 audits by US FDA, and they're very strict audits. And I am very proud and happy to say that in both the trials, there were no observations against the trial conducted in Sahyadri Specialty Hospital. It is a teamwork. A lot of people are involved. Majority of the times, patients only know the treating physician or the treating teams. But this is a very different ballgame. It's a very strictly monitored game. It's a very strictly monitored procedure. The patient safety is utmost. Once the patient safety is, for any issue is getting compromised, the trial is put on hold. We recently had a trial of a drug for certain genetic rare disorder, and this trial was kept on hold for nearly 12 months because there were certain safety issues. So these trials have continuous monitoring, continuous auditing, continuous interim analysis is happening, and patient safety is the first and foremost priority in the clinical trials. Unless these clinical trials were done properly and unless these clinical trials are promoted, especially in the rare disorders, we would not have had medicines. We are involved in a lot of these trials which concern hemophilia, Glanvill's thrombocythemia, factor 7 deficiencies, patients with inhibitor, malignancies, leukemias, lymphomas, multiple myelomas. And unless we had conducted these clinical trials, new medicines will not be available for the patients. In certain areas, the explosion of medicines has happened because of the success of clinical trials. That has definitely improved. Once the drug has been approved, the post-analysis is also done and they have shown excellent results. With this, I'll conclude my comments, and it is my sincere request for upliftment of science and medicine. Patients should participate in clinical trials if they can. Thank you.